Hello, Vibe Audiobook listeners. Have you ever wondered what truly separates the good from the great? What makes some leaders, some companies, and some movements so profoundly influential that they inspire millions, while others with similar resources and ideas falter? If you've ever felt a yearning to understand the hidden force behind true inspiration, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into a book that has revolutionized the way we think about leadership, purpose, and impact. Simon Sinek's transformative masterpiece, Start with Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. This isn't just another business book, it's a revelation. It's a guide to unlocking your potential to inspire, whether you're leading a team, building a brand, or simply striving to make a difference in your own life. Get ready to discover the golden circle, the power of purpose, and the profound truth that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So grab a warm drink, settle in, and let's embark on this journey to discover your why. Before we begin, if you love what you hear and want more insightful content like this, please remember to hit that like button, share this episode with someone who needs a dose of inspiration, and most importantly, subscribe to Vibe Audiobook so you never miss out on our future explorations into the world's most impactful books. Your support truly helps us grow. Now, let's start with why. Chapter 1. Assumptions. In the vast ocean of business and leadership, we often make fundamental assumptions about what drives success. We assume that competition is the primary motivator, that fear of failure pushes us forward, or that simply having the best product or service is enough to win. But Simon Sinek challenges these very assumptions from the outset. He points out that while many companies and individuals know what they do, their products or services, and how they do it, their unique selling propositions, very few truly understand why they do what they do. Imagine a company that meticulously designs a new smartphone. They focus on sleek aesthetics, powerful processors, and innovative features. They launch it with a massive marketing campaign, highlighting all the incredible whats and hows. Yet another company, perhaps Apple, launches a similar product and creates a global phenomenon, inspiring fervent loyalty and unprecedented sales. What's the difference? It's not just about the product itself. It's about something far deeper, something that resonates on an emotional, almost primal level. Sinek argues that our traditional approaches to business, manipulating people through price drops, promotions, fear, or aspirations, might yield short-term gains, but they don't foster loyalty or true inspiration. These tactics are like chasing a mirage. They momentarily quench thirst, but never provide lasting sustenance. True leadership and lasting success don't come from manipulating behavior, but from inspiring it. This inspiration, Sinek reveals, stems from a profound understanding and articulation of one's why. This chapter sets the stage for a paradigm shift, urging us to question everything we thought we knew about what makes people act. It's a call to look beyond the superficial and dive into the core of motivation. Chapter 2. The Golden Circle. This is where Simon Sinek introduces the concept that has become synonymous with his work: the Golden Circle. It's a simple yet incredibly powerful framework comprising 3 concentric circles. What? This is the outermost circle, representing what we do. Every company, organization, and individual knows what they do. It's the product they sell, the service they offer, or the job function they perform. For a car company, it's making cars. For a nonprofit, it's providing aid. How? This is the middle circle, representing how we do what we do. These are the processes, the proprietary methods, the unique selling propositions that differentiate us. For that car company, it might be their superior engineering, their efficient manufacturing, or their innovative design process. And then, why? This is the innermost circle, the core. This is where most people and organizations struggle. The why is not about making money, Money is a result. The why is your purpose, cause, or belief. It's the fundamental reason you exist, the vision you're trying to achieve, the problem you're trying to solve. Why does your company exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? Why should anyone care? Sinek observes that most individuals and organizations communicate from the outside in, from what to how to why. They start by telling us what they do, then perhaps how they're different, and rarely, if ever, articulate their fundamental purpose. But inspirational leaders and organizations operate from the inside out, from why to how to what. They start with their purpose, their belief, and only then explain how they manifest that belief and what products or services result. Think of Apple again. They don't start by saying, "We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one?" Instead, their communication starts with, "Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. And we happen to make great computers. Want to buy one?" The difference is subtle but profound. One sells a product. The other sells a belief. People don't buy what Apple does. They buy what Apple believes. The golden circle is not just a marketing tool. It's a biological imperative. Our limbic brain, which controls feelings, trust, and loyalty, has no capacity for language. It responds to feelings. The why speaks directly to this part of the brain, bypassing the rational, language-based neocortex. When we start with why, we tap into people's emotions, their deepest values, and create a sense of belonging and trust. This chapter fundamentally alters our understanding of communication and influence, providing a clear roadmap for truly inspiring action. Chapter 3. Leaders need a following. A leader without followers is just a person taking a walk. This chapter delves into the crucial relationship between a leader's why and their ability to attract and retain a loyal following. Sinek emphasizes that true leadership isn't about having authority or being in charge. It's about having people who willingly choose to follow you, not because they have to, but because they want to. They want to because they believe in what you believe. Consider the Civil Rights Movement and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't stand up and say, "I have a plan." He said, "I have a dream." His why, a belief in equality and justice, resonated deeply with millions. People didn't follow him for his strategies. They followed him because they shared his profound belief. They marched, they protested, they risked their lives not for a tangible product or a detailed plan, but for a shared vision of a better future. They were inspired to action because their personal why aligned with his. Sinek contrasts this with leaders who operate solely on external incentives or fear. Such leaders might achieve compliance, but never true commitment or passion. People might do what's asked of them to keep their job or earn a bonus, but they won't put in extra effort, innovate, or protect the organization's reputation when no one is watching. True followers are invested emotionally and ideologically. The challenge for leaders, then, is to articulate their why clearly and consistently. This why acts as a filter for decisions, a compass for direction, and a beacon for attracting those who share the same values. When a leader communicates their why first, they attract individuals who are already predisposed to believe what they believe. These individuals don't need to be manipulated. They are self-motivated by the shared purpose. This creates a powerful, self-sustaining community where everyone is working towards a common cause, not just common goals. This chapter highlights that the journey of leadership begins not with a plan, but with a deeply held purpose that draws others into its orbit. Chapter 4. The Tipping Point. Building on the idea of attracting followers, Sinek explores how an organization or movement reaches a tipping point where its ideas spread like wildfire and achieve widespread adoption. He refers to Everett Rogers' diffusion of innovations theory, which categorizes people into different groups based on their willingness to adopt new ideas. Innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. The crucial insight here is that for an idea to achieve mass appeal, you don't start by trying to convince the majority. You start by inspiring the innovators, and more importantly, the early adopters. These are the people who are driven by their belief system, who are willing to take risks, and who will embrace an idea because it aligns with their why, not just because it's new or practical. They are the ones who will stand in line overnight for a new product, or join a movement even before it gains mainstream traction. Sinek argues that the golden circle provides the perfect mechanism for attracting these critical early adopters. When you communicate your why, you speak directly to their limbic brain, triggering an emotional connection. These early adopters don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. They are the evangelists, the ones who will passionately share your message and champion your cause to their networks. The early majority and late majority, on the other hand, are more pragmatic. They need social proof. They won't jump on board until they see that others, especially the early adopters they respect, have already embraced the idea. By inspiring the early adopters, you create the momentum necessary to eventually cross the chasm and reach the broader market. It's a domino effect. Inspire the few who believe, and they will in turn inspire the many. This chapter underscores that focusing on what or how might attract customers based on features or price, but it won't create a movement. To reach a tipping point and achieve lasting impact, you must first articulate your why to attract those who share your core beliefs. It's a strategic approach to growth that prioritizes emotional connection over logical persuasion, understanding that true influence stems from shared values. Chapter 5. Clarity, Discipline, and Consistency. Having a clear why is powerful, but it's not enough on its own. To truly inspire and sustain that inspiration, an organization needs three critical components: clarity of why, discipline of how, and consistency of what. These three elements form a symbiotic relationship, ensuring that the why is not just a lofty ideal, but a living, breathing reality within the organization. Clarity of why. This is the starting point. Every member of the organization, from the CEO to the newest intern, must understand and be able to articulate the organization's fundamental purpose, cause, or belief. It's not a slogan. It's a profound understanding of why the organization exists beyond making money. When the why is clear, it serves as the ultimate filter for every decision, every strategy, and every hiring choice. It provides direction and meaning, allowing individuals to connect their daily tasks to a larger purpose. Without a clear why, decisions become arbitrary, and efforts can become fragmented. Discipline of how. The how represents the values and principles that guide the actions taken to bring the why to life. These are the systems, processes, and culture that embody the organization's beliefs. If your why is about challenging the status quo, your how might involve fostering innovation, encouraging risk-taking, and empowering employees. The how dictates how you operate every single day. It requires discipline because it means consistently acting in accordance with your values, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. These hows are the actions that demonstrate the why in practice. Consistency of what? The what refers to the tangible results, the products, services, and communication that an organization offers. These whats must be consistent with the why and the how.
If your why is about sustainability and your how involves ethical sourcing, then your what, your products, must clearly reflect these values. Inconsistency between what you say you believe, why, and what you actually do, how and what, leads to confusion, mistrust, and ultimately a loss of inspiration. People need to see and feel that your actions align with your stated purpose. Sinek uses the analogy of a megaphone. The what is what people hear. The how is how it's amplified, and the why is the voice itself. If the voice or why is unclear, no amount of amplification, how, or clever messaging, what, will make a lasting impact. When all three are aligned, they create authenticity and build unwavering trust. This chapter serves as a practical guide for operationalizing the Golden Circle, turning abstract purpose into concrete, inspiring action.
Chapter 6. The Biology of the Golden Circle. This chapter takes the Golden Circle from a conceptual framework to a biological imperative, grounding it in neuroscience. Sinek explains that our brains are structured in a way that perfectly aligns with the Golden Circle. The neocortex. This is the newest part of our brain, responsible for rational thought, analytical processing, and language. It's where we process facts, figures, and features, the what and how. When companies communicate from the outside in, focusing on what they do and how they do it, they are primarily engaging the neocortex. While the neocortex can understand vast amounts of complex information, it doesn't drive behavior directly. It allows us to rationalize decisions, but it doesn't create them. The limbic brain. This is the older, inner part of our brain, responsible for all our feelings, such as trust and loyalty, and for all human behavior and decision-making. However, the limbic brain has no capacity for language. This is why, Sinek explains, when someone makes a decision from the gut, or it just felt right, they often struggle to articulate why they made that choice. The decision was made in the limbic brain, which controls feelings but not language. This part of the brain is activated by the why. When leaders communicate from the inside out, starting with why, they speak directly to the limbic brain. This creates an emotional connection, a sense of trust and belonging, before the rational brain, neocortex, even processes the what and how. This is why people don't just buy Apple products, they feel loyal to Apple. This loyalty isn't rational, it's emotional. They feel that Apple understands them, that they are part of something bigger than just a product. Sinek illustrates this with simple examples. If you list all the features of a car, your audience might rationally conclude it's a good car. But if you start by saying, "We believe in the freedom of the open road, in the joy of discovery, and in building vehicles that empower you to explore without limits," you've tapped into something deeper. People will then be predisposed to trust your cars, to feel a connection, and to rationalize their purchase based on those feelings. This biological explanation provides a powerful scientific basis for why the start with why approach is so effective. It's not just a clever marketing tactic, it's tapping into the fundamental neurological pathways that govern human behavior and decision-making. Understanding this biological link empowers leaders to move beyond mere persuasion to genuine inspiration, fostering deep-seated loyalty and action.
Chapter 7. Where do whys come from? If the why is so critical, how does one discover it? Sinek clarifies that a why is not something you invent, it's something you discover. It's not a marketing statement or a strategic objective. It's a reflection of your core purpose, your fundamental belief that has been present since the very beginning of your journey or your organization's inception. For an individual, discovering your why involves introspection. It means looking back at your life experiences, identifying recurring themes, moments of profound satisfaction, and times when you felt most alive and purposeful. It's about understanding the core contribution you want to make to the world, the impact you want to have, and the belief that fuels your actions. Your personal why remains constant throughout your life, even as your career path or interests may change. It's your underlying motivation, your reason for being. For an organization, the why typically originates with the founder or the founding team. It's their original vision, their driving passion, the problem they set out to solve, or the belief they wanted to propagate. The why of a company is not a consensus decision made in a boardroom. It's an articulation of its inherent reason for existence. This is why many successful companies often struggle as they grow and their original founders depart. The clarity of the why can get diluted, replaced by a focus on what and how, metrics, processes, profit. Sinek emphasizes that the why is rarely about the product or service itself. It's about the deeper contribution. For example, Southwest Airlines' why isn't just to fly planes. It's to democratize air travel, making it accessible and enjoyable for everyone. That why guides everything they do, from their no-frills approach to their fun, friendly customer service. The process of discovering your why is often challenging because it requires vulnerability and deep self-reflection. It requires peeling back layers of assumptions, habits, and external pressures to reveal the authentic core. But once articulated, the why becomes a powerful compass, guiding decisions, attracting like-minded individuals, and providing a source of unwavering inspiration. It's a journey of self-discovery, leading to profound clarity and purpose. Chapter 8. The Why in Action. This chapter provides tangible examples of organizations that exemplify the Start with Why principle, demonstrating how a clear why translates into real-world success, innovation, and enduring loyalty. Sinek showcases a diverse range of companies and leaders, illustrating that the golden circle is universally applicable. He often revisits the example of Apple. Their why, challenging the status quo and thinking differently, permeates every aspect of their business. It's evident in their product design, their marketing campaigns, their retail store experience, and even their hiring practices. People don't just buy an iPhone, they buy into the Apple philosophy, becoming part of a community that values creativity and innovation. This unwavering commitment to their why has allowed them to consistently disrupt industries and maintain a cult-like following. Another compelling example is Southwest Airlines. Their why is to give everyone the freedom to fly, to democratize air travel. This isn't about cheap tickets. It's about providing accessible and enjoyable experiences. Their how involves creating a fun, friendly, and efficient environment. Their what is low-cost air travel. Every decision, from boarding procedures to employee engagement, is filtered through this why, resulting in a consistently positive customer experience and fierce employee loyalty. Their employees are often cited as their greatest asset, and this stems from a shared belief in the company's purpose. Sinek also touches upon Harley-Davidson. Their why isn't just about selling motorcycles. It's about providing a sense of freedom, adventure, and belonging to a community. Their bikes are symbols of this larger purpose. Owners often tattoo the logo on their bodies, not just because they like the product, but because they identify with the why that the brand embodies. It's a powerful illustration of how a why can transcend mere functionality and tap into deep human desires. These examples highlight that organizations with a clear why don't just compete on price or features, they compete on belief. They attract customers and employees who resonate with their purpose, leading to greater resilience, innovation, and long-term success.
When the why is clear, the hows and whats naturally fall into place, creating an authentic and inspiring brand that stands the test of time. This chapter provides concrete evidence that starting with why is not just theory, but a proven path to extraordinary impact.
Chapter 9. The Right People. One of the most profound impacts of starting with why is its ability to attract and retain the right people, those who genuinely fit and thrive within an organization. Sinek argues that while many companies hire for skills and experience, the what and how, truly successful organizations hire for shared belief, the why. When you hire based on why, you're not just looking for someone who can do the job, you're looking for someone who believes in the same purpose, cause, or vision as your organization. These individuals are more than just employees. They are advocates, passionate contributors, and intrinsically motivated team members. They don't just work for a paycheck, they work for a purpose. Think about it. Skills can be taught and experience can be gained, but a person's core belief system is much more deeply ingrained. If someone fundamentally believes in what your organization is trying to achieve, they will be more resilient, more innovative, and more committed, even when faced with challenges. They will go above and beyond because their work feels meaningful, not just transactional. Sinek uses the analogy of a dating profile. You wouldn't just list your job title and salary. You'd share your values, your passions, your aspirations, your why. In the same way, organizations should communicate their why in their recruitment efforts. This acts as a natural filter, attracting candidates who are already aligned with the company culture and purpose, and deterring those who are purely motivated by external factors. The consequences of hiring the wrong people, those who don't align with the why, can be devastating. They might be skilled, but they won't be inspired. They can drain morale, hinder progress, and ultimately undermine the culture. Conversely, a team united by a shared why becomes incredibly powerful, capable of overcoming obstacles and achieving remarkable feats. This chapter underscores that starting with why is not just about attracting customers. It's fundamentally about building a cohesive, passionate, and high-performing team. It's about recognizing that people are your greatest asset, and their alignment with your purpose is the key to unlocking their full potential. Chapter 10. The Cell Phone. This chapter uses the metaphor of a cell phone to explain the different levels of connection and communication that result from operating with or without a clear why. Imagine a generic utilitarian cell phone. It makes calls, sends texts, and performs basic functions. Its manufacturers might try to sell it by listing its features, what, or its competitive price, how. This approach appeals to the rational part of the brain, leading to a transactional relationship with the consumer. There's no emotional connection, no loyalty. If a slightly cheaper or more feature-rich phone comes along, consumers will easily switch. This represents communication without a clear why. It's about manipulation, price, features, rather than inspiration. Now, compare that to an iPhone. Apple doesn't just sell a device, it sells a philosophy. Its why, challenging the status quo and empowering individuals, creates a profound emotional bond with its users. When someone buys an iPhone, they're not just buying a gadget, they're buying into a lifestyle, a set of values, a sense of belonging to a community that thinks different. The features, what, and the user experience, how, are important, but they are expressions of the why. This deep connection fosters fierce loyalty. People will often pay a premium, wait in lines, and passionately defend their choice because it resonates with their own values. Sinek extends this metaphor to internal communication within an organization. If a leader only communicates what needs to be done and how to do it, employees become like the generic cell phone. They perform their functions, but without passion or deep engagement. They are simply following instructions. However, when a leader communicates the why, the inspiring purpose behind the work, employees become more like iPhone users. They feel a sense of ownership, purpose, and emotional investment. They understand the bigger picture, connecting their individual tasks to a meaningful cause. The cell phone metaphor brilliantly illustrates the difference between simply doing work and being inspired to work. It highlights that a transactional relationship, whether with customers or employees, is fragile and easily broken. A relationship built on shared purpose and belief, however, is resilient, fosters loyalty, and unlocks extraordinary potential. This chapter serves as a powerful reminder that the why is the ultimate differentiator, transforming a commodity into a beloved icon and a job into a mission.
Chapter 11. The Abstract Why. This chapter addresses a common challenge. The why is often abstract, a feeling, a belief. How do you make something so intangible, concrete, and actionable? Sinek explains that while the why itself is abstract, its power lies in its ability to inspire tangible actions, behaviors, and products, the hows and whats. The why provides the direction, a clear North Star. It's the conviction that guides all decisions. However, for that why to have an impact, it needs to be manifested through clear hows, the values, principles, and systems, and consistent whats, the products, services, and communications. Think of it like a journey. The why is your destination. The hows are your map and mode of transport, and the whats are the specific roads you take and sights you see along the way. Without a clear destination, all the maps and vehicles in the world won't get you anywhere meaningful. Sinek also discusses the split that often occurs in organizations. The why person, the visionary, the founder, the charismatic leader, and the how person, the pragmatist, the operator, the one who brings the vision to life. Steve Jobs was the why for Apple, while Tim Cook is arguably the master of the how. They are two halves of a whole, each essential for sustained success. The abstract nature of the why is precisely its strength. It allows for flexibility and innovation in its execution. The why never changes, but the hows and whats can and should evolve over time as circumstances change. For example, a company whose why is to empower individuals through technology might start by making personal computers. What? Then move to music players, smartphones, and wearable tech. The what's change, but the core why remains constant, providing a consistent sense of purpose. This chapter helps bridge the gap between inspiration and execution. It clarifies that while the why is deeply philosophical, its true power is unleashed when it is meticulously translated into concrete actions and tangible offerings. It's about ensuring that the abstract belief is consistently demonstrated through every facet of an organization's existence, making the intangible feel real and impactful. Chapter 12. The Origin of a Why. Reiterating and expanding on previous points, Sinek delves deeper into the profound truth that a why is not manufactured, it is discovered. It stems from a singular moment or a series of deeply impactful experiences that shape an individual's or an organization's foundational beliefs. For an individual, your why often crystallizes in your formative years, driven by specific experiences, challenges, or revelations that instilled a core purpose within you. It's an internal belief that feels immutable, a deep conviction that fuels your passion and drives your actions. Sinek often talks about a why statement not being a declaration of ambition, but a statement of contribution. It defines the impact you seek to make on others, a contribution that gives meaning to your own life. For organizations, the why is typically born out of the original founder's vision and passion.
It's the specific problem they wanted to solve, the particular belief they wanted to champion, or the unique impact they aimed to create. This original why is often infused with their personality, values, and experiences. For example, Walt Disney's why was to bring joy and wonder to families through storytelling and immersive experiences. This why predates Disneyland, Mickey Mouse, and all the whats that followed. The challenge arises when organizations grow and founders move on. Without diligent effort, the original why can become diluted, forgotten, or replaced by a focus on market share, profit margins, or short-term goals. When an organization loses sight of its why, it loses its ability to inspire. It becomes just another company competing on price and features, struggling to differentiate itself and foster loyalty. This chapter is a call to revisit the roots, to uncover or rediscover the fundamental reason for existence. It emphasizes that this discovery process is not a one-time event, but an ongoing commitment to staying true to the original purpose. By understanding the origin of the why, leaders can protect and nurture it, ensuring that their organization remains a source of genuine inspiration for years to come. It's about preserving the soul of the organization and ensuring its enduring relevance.
Chapter 13. What happens when why gets fuzzy? The decline of many once great organizations can often be traced back to a fuzzy why. This chapter explores the consequences when an organization loses clarity on its core purpose, cause, or belief. When the why becomes vague or forgotten, the organization starts to make decisions based on external pressures rather than internal conviction. One of the most common symptoms of a fuzzy why is an over-reliance on external incentives and manipulations. Companies resort to aggressive pricing strategies, short-term promotions, fear-mongering advertisements, or appealing to fleeting trends. These tactics might deliver temporary spikes in sales or market share, but they erode trust, commoditize the brand, and fail to build lasting loyalty. Without a clear why to guide decisions, companies chase competitors, blindly adopt best practices without understanding their underlying principles, and lose their unique identity. Sinek uses the example of retailers who try to compete solely on price. While initially effective, this strategy eventually leads to a race to the bottom, where profit margins shrink and brands become indistinguishable. They've lost their why and are left competing on the what, that is, lowest price, without a compelling reason for customers to choose them beyond cost. Another consequence is a decline in internal morale and employee engagement. When employees don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, their work can feel meaningless and uninspiring. They become cogs in a machine, clocking in and out, rather than passionate contributors to a shared mission. This leads to higher turnover, lower productivity, and a general sense of apathy within the organization. A fuzzy why also hampers innovation. Without a clear purpose to guide it, innovation becomes scattered and aimless, often resulting in products or services that don't truly resonate with customers. When the why is clear, innovation is focused, purposeful, and driven by a desire to bring the why to life in new and meaningful ways. Ultimately, a fuzzy why leads to a loss of authenticity. When an organization's whats and hows no longer align with a clear purpose, consumers sense the disconnect. They might not be able to articulate why they feel uneasy, but they will intuitively distrust the brand. This chapter serves as a stark warning. Losing sight of your why is a perilous path that can lead even the most successful organizations to decline and irrelevance. It underscores the critical importance of continuously nurturing and reaffirming the core purpose. Chapter 14. The Split. When why and how diverge. As organizations grow, a common and dangerous phenomenon occurs: the split between the why,
the visionary founder or leader, and the how, the operational leadership. This split, if not managed carefully, can lead to the why becoming fuzzy and the organization losing its way. Initially, a small startup is often driven by the founder's personal why. They are the living embodiment of the company's purpose, inspiring everyone around them with their vision and passion. As the company grows, it needs structure, systems, and efficient processes to scale. This is where the how person or team becomes critical. The pragmatists who can translate the abstract why into concrete hows and manage the whats. The problem arises when the why person is no longer directly involved in the day-to-day operations, or when the how people lose connection with the original why. The why person might become too far removed, or the how person might become overly focused on metrics, efficiency, and short-term goals, forgetting the underlying purpose. Sinek uses the analogy of an artist and a CEO. The artist, the why person, has a vision, a passion, a belief they want to express. The CEO, the how person, then builds the structure to support that artist, ensuring their work can reach a wider audience sustainably. Both are essential. If the artist tries to be the CEO, they might lose their creative spark. If the CEO forgets the artist's original vision, the art itself loses its soul. When this split occurs without proper bridge building, the why can become a mere slogan, disconnected from the daily reality of the organization. Decisions are made not to advance the why, but to optimize for efficiency or profit, leading to a focus on manipulation rather than inspiration. Employees and customers sense this disconnect, and the organization's authenticity suffers. To prevent this split from becoming detrimental, Sinek emphasizes the need for constant communication and alignment between the why and how functions. The how people must always be reminded of the why they are serving, and the why person must trust the how people to execute the vision. This symbiotic relationship, where the why sets the direction and the how builds the path, is crucial for sustained inspiration and growth. This chapter underscores the vital importance of integrating purpose into every level of an organization, ensuring that the why remains vibrant and actionable.
Chapter 15. The Emergence of Trust. Trust is not given, it is earned. And according to Sinek, it is earned when an organization consistently demonstrates that its why and its whats are in perfect alignment. This chapter explores how starting with why is the most powerful way to build deep, enduring trust with customers, employees, and partners. Most organizations try to build trust by talking about their whats, quality products, great service, or their hows, our integrity, our ethical practices. While these are important, Sinek argues that true trust emerges when people believe you are driven by something more profound than just self-interest or profit. Trust is built when people feel that you share their values, that you have their best interests at heart, and that you stand for something bigger. When an organization consistently communicates its why and demonstrates it through its hows and whats, it creates a sense of authenticity. People intuitively recognize when an organization is genuinely driven by a purpose beyond its products. This authenticity fosters trust. For example, Patagonia's why is about environmental activism and quality gear for explorers. Every product, every marketing campaign, every supply chain decision aligns with this why. Customers trust Patagonia not just for their jackets, but because they believe in what the company stands for. Trust is also fundamental for innovation. When employees trust their leaders, because leaders operate from a clear why, they feel safe to take risks, share new ideas, and admit mistakes. They believe their leaders have their backs and are genuinely working towards a shared purpose.
This psychological safety is crucial for fostering a culture of innovation and continuous improvement. Furthermore, trust creates loyalty. Loyal customers don't just buy your products, they become advocates, defending your brand and recommending it to others. Loyal employees don't just work for you, they become ambassadors, actively contributing to the company's success and embodying its values. This deep emotional trust is far more resilient than loyalty based on price or features, which can easily be eroded by competitors. This chapter positions trust not as a soft skill, but as the bedrock of sustainable success. It's the ultimate outcome of consistently communicating and living your why. When trust emerges, it creates a powerful, virtuous cycle, attracting the right people, inspiring innovation, and fostering a community around a shared belief. It's the ultimate currency of inspiration.
Conclusion. And so, we've journeyed through the profound insights of Simon Sinek's Start With Why, a book that challenges us to fundamentally rethink how we lead, how we communicate, and how we inspire. We've seen how the golden circle, why, how, what, isn't just a marketing gimmick, but a biological and psychological blueprint for human connection and action. We've learned that great leaders and organizations don't just manipulate, they inspire. They don't just sell products, they sell beliefs. They understand that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The why is the beating heart of any truly inspiring endeavor, the purpose that gives meaning to every action, every product, and every interaction. From understanding the biology of trust to the critical importance of clarity, discipline, and consistency, Sinek has armed us with a powerful framework to discover our own why, both personally and professionally. He's shown us that by starting with purpose, we can attract the right people, build unwavering loyalty, and create a lasting impact that transcends mere success. So, as you go forward from today, I encourage you to ask yourself, what is your why? What is the purpose, cause, or belief that truly drives you? How can you articulate it with clarity, live it with discipline, and demonstrate it with consistency? The journey to discovering and living your why may not always be easy, but it is undoubtedly the most fulfilling path to true leadership and genuine inspiration. Thank you for tuning in to Vibe Audiobook. If this summary resonated with you, please give us a like, share this episode with friends or colleagues who might benefit, and subscribe to our channel for more enriching content. Your support helps us continue to bring you the best insights from the world's most impactful books. Until next time, keep seeking your why, keep inspiring, and keep making a difference.